To create custom attributes within BIM360 document management, log into BIM360 as you see here on the screen. Go to document management if you have that activated within your account. And you can see here on your left hand side, like we covered in a previous video, you can create a custom folder structure, add subfolders and name them accordingly that suit your project. Even if it's to an ISO or BIM level 2 standard, you can also meet that within here as well. In order to set something called custom attributes, you can see across here we've got description, version, size, status, and these are all attributes by default or system attributes installed with BIM360. But you can also create your own custom attributes. So if I create a custom attribute in the architectural folder, this attribute will only apply to this particular folder. But if I want to create a custom attribute that appears in every single folder, I need to create it at the parent level here under project files. So for example, if I was to go into architecture and create attribute on the right hand side, go to settings, add attribute. So I want to create one, say, called revision. So this can be to meet your BIM level 2 compliance, and you can have it as a date picker that you select or a drop down menu, so you can have a series of drop down revisions there if you wish. But in this case we're just going to create a text field, just going to hit save. You can see there it's created something called revision. So I can now select this particular file, hit edit on that, and I can call this P01-2 for example. P01-2, 02 if we're in ISO compliance standards. So if I just drop that subfolder, if I go into this consumed folder for example, I can see that revision has also been included there as well, and it doesn't allow you to create it at the folder level. Obviously you only want to create it at document level. So that revision tag or attribute is now included in any of these particular folders under that particular hierarchy of architecture. But if I was to go into the MEP folder, you can see there's no option to add that particular attribute. Now what I can do is go in and add REV-ISION revision into this particular one. Text field again, click add, and it's added revision. But the trouble with that is if you don't create it at the parent level, and if you only create it in folder by folder, if you move a file from one folder to another folder, so if I was to move this particular file for example, I'm going to move this into the MEP folder. So you can see that particular file, the revision tag has not come in, and that's because we created it separately at each folder level. If I was to create something at the hierarchy of the project files level, select that. So I'm going to create something here. I'm going to create a custom attribute, but I'm going to call it rev. It's short for revision, just to show you as an example. Rev, click save. So now I can see it's come in there. But if I go into the architecture folder, I also see rev is there, and any folder below that. Therefore, if I go in here again, I'm going to go into this particular file, PDF, and I'm going to change rev. I'm going to change this to P02-05. I'm going to move this one. So I'm going to move this into my MEP folder, straight into MEP folder, ground floor plan. And you can see there it's moved that file, but it's also taken that particular attribute here. So you should always create the attributes. If you want them to move files between folder and folder, you should always create those particular attributes at the parent level of the file structure.